Alright, hey there Prox Gaming Crew, and this is Proxify here, and welcome back to the Ocarina of Time Let's Play. And if you did miss out during the last one, well, we just went and conquered out with Jabu-Jabu's belly, and we just went and got with the last spiritual stone, and it seems like we're going to go and start making our way into where the Temple of Time is going to be within this episode. But before we actually go and do that, we still have to go and take care of the Happy Mask trade quest. Now, if you guys do recall, we do have that bunny hood with us, but now we're going to go and pass it over here to the running man, aka known as the post mail guy that you would normally go and meet up with in Majora's Mask. Now, also too, there is one important thing that you want to go and do here with this little objective, and that is that you want to make sure that you actually do have the max wallet with you, known as the giant wallet. And if you go and do that, he will actually go and give you the max amount of the rupees that you can actually have in your wallet, which that is of course going to be with the 500 rupees. And now, if you also did go and read a little bit with that text there, it did say that we actually have to go and head back over to where the Happy Mask man is going to be, and you actually have to go and give him the 50 rupees back to him. Now, that's actually somewhat pretty nice, because we don't really have to go and try to give him the full amount of what that 500 rupees is going to be, so we can still at least go and use a little bit of that extra amount of other rupees that we still have, so that we can go and put that into our way for a little bit later on if we ever decide to actually go and do anything of minigame wise in the market. And I know that there's going to be quite a bit of heart pieces within there that we do want to go and at least try to collect a little bit later on throughout this game, but not for right now. But I know that there is something important that I do want to go and do within the market, and that's actually go and pick up on one certain heart piece, and that is going to have to go and do something with little Richard within our time from when we go and continue onwards here. But right now, we got ourselves with the face-to-face here with Ganon. Now, if you guys do recall, we have went and seen a little bit about within this little segment here from before within the first part of the actual game, right? We kind of saw that within a little bit of like a dream sequence that was happening, so now we actually get to see this fully actually happen here within our time. Now, within these two videos for today, well, we are going to be seeing here with Ganon, not only are we going to be doing out here with Ocarina of Time, but we are, of course, going to be going and jumping on into some more of the Yokai Watch 4. We are going to be doing a certain little mystery event that is going to happen within the game, and this is something that you can actually be able to go and do if you ever decide to actually have the full exact update within the actual 4++, and I think I am fully updated, and you can actually get yourself a lot of mystery gifts and other things, and there is a special thing that you can actually be able to go and pick up for Shadow Venok, and that is how you'll be able to go and pick up with that certain yokai. We are going to go and do that within our time for that episode that's going to be going to actually go and start off with the actual mission. But that was a little bit interesting there to go and see that from Ganon. So let's just go and keep on continuing onwards within our time and pick up with that ocarina that Impa went and thrown into the riverbed here, because at least now we can get ourselves a little bit of an upgrade from our Saria's ocarina, right? Kind of have a much more badass type of look here with this ocarina. And not only that, but once we go and actually pick up with this is where we're going to go and get ourselves now with the Song of Time, which I don't know if this is the actual one that actually puts the undead into a stopping motion. I may probably have to do maybe a little bit of a lookup on that just to make sure, because I know that before we went and did that before in the Kakariko village area, and I know that during that time we were having a little bit of some issues there, and we kind of ran up into a little bit of a re-dead situation where we almost got ourselves attacked by them. But here we go. Now, this is going to be the first time where we are going to be seeing the actual A button getting actually used here within the ocarina. Now, I know that we have seen that before when we were meeting up with the Skull Kids and everything to kind of do their own little play part of the, well, some of their fake type of songs that were happening, but we kind of wanted to go through the motions there just so that we can at least get ourselves with the heart piece. But there we go. We have now just learned the Song of Time, and now we can go and finally put that over towards into where the Temple of Time is going to be. Now, there is a little bit of a glitch that you can actually go and do within the actual Temple of Time, and apparently there's like a little bit of like a crack in the wall, which if you can go and meet up with, like kind of get face to face with it, there's like a few little jumping methods that you can actually go and do, and if you actually time it out right, you can actually jump right into the actual area of that Song of Time and actually completely cut half of the whole entire game apart, and you can actually just go and jump right into where where the adult Link type of questing is going to be from here. But here's little Richard. Let's go and finally take him all the way back home so that we can now go and get ourselves with this heart piece. And you actually have to do this at nighttime. Unfortunately, you can't really go and do it in the daytime. But yes, I found your dog for you. Now, I think every time that you actually go and find where Richard is later on throughout the other parts of the game, I think you actually get like some free rupees from her as well. So always something nice if you ever do want to go and get any type of extra rupees from her if you ever do need it. But why do you need the extra rupees from her? Because we already have enough rupees as it is from the running man himself. Now, not to worry, you don't really have to go and, I think, ever have to go and buy out with these masks again after this point, because once he gives you the Mask of Truth, I want to say majority of all these masks are going to be, I think, at least free, right? So you can actually just, so that you could just actually just go and just pick all of them up. We are going to actually go and use the skull mask for our time, once we actually do go and head off into the bottom of the well later on throughout our way here throughout this game. Now, I will actually use one of the specialty actual masks that we will be getting, the hidden mask, and I may actually want to go and probably bring the Zora's mask, but I'll let you guys be the judge. What do you guys want me to go and actually bring when I actually go and head off into the Spirit Temple? Because I believe that's like the last area that we're going to actually be having with Young Link within our time from there. Well, just for having the mask and everything. Now, this is also something really interesting as well, too. And you can actually play with your mask here within the Temple of Time. And you can kind of see a little bit of an interesting segment, kind of like what happened with the Kakariko Village. But let's go and finally put these spiritual stones together. And let's go and finally meet off with Rauru out of all things as well. Now, I'm not really too entirely certain if this Rauru has anything to kind of deal with the Tears of the Kingdom Rauru, or is that like a separate other Rauru? Because I know that if you guys don't know about the Zelda timeline, it is really, really, really messed up. Like, I don't even know what the first game is, I think, within the timeline, because technically, well, for me personally, is that I don't want to like kind of mess up on the actual timeline, because I'm not really too entirely certain on which one is like literally the first game, because I know that Legend of Zelda 1, like the first game that came out like on the NES, is not actually the first game. It's actually like much later within the actual timeline itself, because I don't know if Ocarina of Time is like the actual first game in the timeline, or if it's like another game before it. I can't even recall. But here we go. Let's go and pick up with the Master Sword here. Now, once we go and pick up this Master Sword, it's gonna be almost like the movie Shazam out here. We could just literally just go and call up our adult Link powers at any point in time while we have this Master Sword. But let's go and do it. Let's pull it out of the ground. Oh my god, what would happen if I wear a mask while I'm actually pulling the Master Sword out of here? Would I turn into like a skeleton adult Link or something? That would be really scary. Just imagine if somebody actually like went and draw something like that there. That would be a scary representation of how adult Link would look. It's too bad that you actually don't like actually take the mask with you while you are like adult Link, because most of all the young Link stuff that you're going to actually have here at this point in time are going to be useless. So I want to say sticks are basically useless at this point. Deku nets and other things like slingshots, for that matter, basically useless, I want to say, for adult Link. Now, if you were doing a randomizer, technically those items are actually meant that you could actually use that at any given point. But I believe, unfortunately, anything young Link wise, no use at all. So we'll have to go and use hook shots with adult Link. Can't use hook shots as young Link though. But here we are. We're in some sort of weird like dimension area right now. I have no idea what this is all about. But this may probably come a little bit more of like a keen type of thing that's going to happen much later out here throughout the game though, because I want to say every time that we go and conquer out with a certain type of part of this actual dungeon, well, any type of dungeon for that matter, I think we'll come back right here to this exact same type of weird dimension area, and we'll be able to go and pick up on these certain different medallions that we're going to be getting. Like the first type of medallion that we're going to be picking up here is going to be with the light medallion. Now there's other medallions. I think there's like a forest medallion that we could go pick up, a water medallion, like the like the purple medallion, red medallion. Like there's so many of those type of ones that we have to go to, because there is so many like dungeons at this point that we have to go literally head off into. Now all these certain different medallions that we go and pick up, those are going to become something that we have to go and meet up with Ganon at some point and head off into the actual castle of that way. That's how we're going to be able to go and open up with the bridge. And not only that, but that's how it's going to be able to go and open up with the rest of the different areas within the castle. Now, I believe if you were doing a randomizer, you can actually go and kind of head back and forth between the actual areas if you actually did have like the actual bridge opened up to you, and you can just be able to kind of just go back and forth between some of the actual little objective areas, because each different medallion area that you go into within Ganon's castle, each of them has their own representation of actually using that specialty item that you actually picked up within the dungeon, which I kind of like how they actually went with that within the actual castle, because it kind of brings back like kind of like your own type of strategies, how you have to go and do the actual puzzle within that certain actual item. So like if you actually went and picked up with the hook shot, you actually have to take that into that one special area for there in Ganon's castle. But now we have to go and listen to some more stuff here with Rauru. Now, I think once we're actually all said and finished here within this actual part for what's going on, we should be meeting up with Sheik. And we'll be seeing more of Sheik later on throughout the game, but we just don't really know too much about what's going on with her, though. But technically, if you guys have already went and played through the Ocarina of Time game, you should already know basically who Sheik is, and even also through the other different Smash Bros. Games and everything. And if you guys don't know, my main character, anytime throughout any type of Smash Bros. Character, is going to be my main, is going to be with Sheik. And I always like using Sheik on my on any type of my fighters that I actually do have. And let me just say that majority of my friends actually don't really like me actually using Sheik as a character in Smash Bros. Because since I play really well with actually using with Sheik, most of my friends actually don't want me over at their house most of the time if I go and use them. But hey, well, it seems like we made it here to the Temple of Time, but 7 years in the past, or well, 7 years like in the future, I should say. But yeah, 7 years has passed throughout here. So we're basically not young anymore. But we'll have to go and take a much better look outside in the next video, though, because unfortunately we're kind of running out for time out here for right now in this part. Oh, but Sheik's been waiting for us. Now, this OST is going to probably sound a little bit familiar because kind of almost sounds a little bit like Zelda. But yeah, so next she's going to tell us all the different places that we'll have to go and explore with. She talked about the House of the Dead there. She's also going to talk about the Goddess of the Sand. That's also with the Spirit Temple area. Now, I believe at some point she actually does say that we have to go and start arriving on over towards into where Kakariko Village is going to be. So, even though that we could actually go and technically head off into Kakariko Village, there is some other little side things that we can actually go and do beforehand. But I don't think there's really too much type of side stuff that we can really go and do, because we don't really have like hook shots or anything of that type of way to go and do any other things for right now. But we could probably go and head back to the fishing hut. We could probably just go and pick up with the other heart piece that I do need, and maybe, just maybe, probably go after that Hylian Loach, but maybe not really go and do that yet. Probably have to wait until I get myself with the iron boots, because that's like a very nice, good, helpful thing for that. But I think we're almost about to be getting ourselves into the end of this episode. And I do want to go and say is thank you guys so much for watching. It has been fun to go and head off into here as Adult Link. So I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. And of course, peace.